Bodine.
Top 10. Ken Schrader currently shown in the lead under yellow. Jeff Bodine is second. Mark Martin third. Brett Bodine fourth. And Sterling Marlin is running in fifth position. 6 through 10, Morgan Shepherd, Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, Bill Elliott, and Ricky Rudd. We are under caution, and while we have the opportunity, we'll take another break and be right back to Darlington International. Mess down off of corner number 4. The racetrack is almost blocked. It was blocked at one time, and there is Ernie Irvan as his car.
Wow, it's a mess this time.
It is badly, badly damaged. The driver compartment, however, stayed intact. You can see that Ernie is in perfect condition. Just, I'm sure, very, very disappointed with the way that his day has gone. The second time this afternoon that he has lost it coming off of corner number 4, or at least had a problem coming off of corner number 4. Rick Wilson's number 75 car and the 52 machine of Jimmy Means involved. The number 11 car of Jeff Bodine is on pit road.
And he does have some damage to the left rear of the automobile. They're looking at the car, seeing what they have to do. I don't know if it is severe or not.
Boy, it's a wonder that just about everybody wasn't taken out in that, because it, of course, was at the head of the field.
Well, and coming off of turn 4 where you don't have a great deal of control.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Ken Schrader sure had a close one on that deal. He's got damage on the right front corner. He's got tire marks on the left side corner. Boy, he was right out sideways up in that turn. Lots and lots of cars coming down pit road with damage. Ricky Rudd is just coming down beside us now with a left front wheel. It's virtually completely stopped and sparking. Rob Barroso's car is badly damaged. There's still several cars up pit road. Boy, that was a bad, bad accident in terms of damaging some top quality equipment.
There's a bit of a fire on pit road. It appears as if some gasoline has ignited, and it isn't going to be a real major problem because the fire. Dick, are you there?
Yeah, I am, Bob. They were right on it as soon as that fire broke out. The only damage appears to be right on pit road itself, and they're directing the fire extinguishers to a little piece of rubber that apparently was burning. No major damage, at least that we can see.
You know what happened, Dick? That you mentioned that tire was rubbing, and when it moved through that fuel that had come off one of the cars, it ignited it. Now let's go to Jerry Punch, who's with Sterling Marlin.
Sterling, you climbed out of the car, although you're a little bit out of breath and shaking, you seem to be okay.
Yeah, it's a shame. We're flying there to start and finally got the car hooked back up and just sitting there taking our time, and it looked like a full car. He's a little over his head and he broke it loose right there. Nobody else could do it.
Your car seemed to be really coming to you. You've been running the lower group, the lower lot part of the race. Did you feel comfortable that you were going to be able to get the car back up front?
It was kind of like Rockingham. The car worked real good low, and I tried to run high and it's loose, but it was hooked right up on the bottom. Sitting there just taking our time, and it was just a shame. Snow cold was flying, and had a good
out of it here at Darlington.
Well, Sterling Marlin will have another day. Now we're going to replay this crash. We've got him from several angles, so sit back here for the next few minutes and watch what happened between Ernie Irvan and Ken Schrader, which involved a lot of other cars eventually.
This had been going on for 2 laps. These guys had been side by side for 2 laps, and we've talked all day. This racetrack is tough. It's too tough to tame, and you just can't do it. We see Ernie got a little bit sideways. He bumps Schrader. They spin. There, Sterling Marlin runs in the back of the 6 car, and then he also hits the 4 car. Meanwhile, Jeff Bodine, they ran in the back of him, but he came through with not too much damage. Also, Morgan Shepherd, Dale Earnhardt, Brett Bodine. That looks like Bobby Hillen.
Somehow, Bodine, Earnhardt got through. Brett Bodine got through for the most part. Here it is from our speed shot just off of corner number 4.
There's just no place to go. These fellas have blocked the racetrack completely, but Jeff Bodine.
Yeah, unscathed. So is Morgan Shepherd. The guy that took the real hard knock, it appeared, was Sterling Marlin, the 94 car. Well, Ernie gets tagged pretty good there by Ricky Rudd and gets tagged again by somebody. Well, we got another angle.
Once they get sideways again.
And they touch.
They
Around
touch.
they go.
Man.
There you can see how Sterling Marlin got hit pretty good there a couple of times. And now you thought that was spectacular. Watch this and listen to this. got through okay. Now this is from Ernie Irvan's car, looking out back. And Jerry Punch is with Ernie Irvan.
We might want to mention, Bob, that Jimmy Means, a little bit upset.
Had a little bit of trouble and racing awful hard, and Kenny was racing me hard to keep me down a lap, and we had a lot to catch up, but we were going to give it all we had.
You and Kenny are pretty good buddies that go way back. In fact, he had a lot to do with you getting your first Winston Cup ride at Richmond, driving for Mark.
This race, we're racing awful hard. We went into turn. We had a lot of room. I got loose. It wasn't Kenny's fault. It was more mine than anybody's.
Let me ask you, what happened early in the race when you had that loop out here in front of Bodine?
Oh, I got in underneath Jeff, and we had a little trouble with the right front earlier, and just got underneath him, and we touched, and it just spun me.
Well, that's Ernie Irvan out of it here at Darlington. We told you there'd be a scramble today here for the Transouth 500, and they certainly have been scrambling here just past the halfway point. It's been all Bodine, but we'll see what happens when we come back. Stay tuned.
Way. So ESPN now takes you behind the wall.
Over the years, we have received literally thousands
of the pre-race ceremonies here this morning, and Barney did about 10 minutes of comedy routines. He was pretty good too, and Flatnose successfully climbed the tree again, Jerry, and was the star of the pre-race activity. Did you think that really when you got into this business that you would be doing a feature on Flatnose and doing that kind of thing?
It may be hard to believe, Bob, but that's the first tree-climbing dog I've ever interviewed on national television. But although I've worked at it for quite a few years, and it was a lot of fun. Barney Odom and Flatnose, and he's got a number of dogs over there that are sons of and siblings of Flatnose that have been doing a lot for people. He takes them around to different schools. He says he tries to tell kids about not doing drugs. Takes them over to the blind school up in North Carolina. So he's been doing a lot of great things. He's been in Japan. He climbed one of those little bitty banzai trees over in Japan a couple of years ago. But he's been on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
But he's certainly quite a celebrity here in South Carolina.
Well, thanks for the piece. We appreciate it, and it's nice to see that he's doing okay. Well, the wall, there is the Darlington Stripe. You've heard so much about the Darlington Stripe, and there are several that have fallen victim to that just in the last few minutes. Here are the cars that were involved in that multi-car tangle coming off of corner number 4. Rudd, Irvan, Moroso, Wilson, Bonnett, Means, Schrader, Martin, Marlin, and Waltrip. Now, not all of those cars are out of the race, but those are the ones that were involved in some way or another with the crash off of turn 4.
That's a 10-car crash, and I was thinking we've not been wrecking that many cars. There've been one-car race, but
yep.
We're back to
here at Darlington, so while we have the chance, we'll take coverage of the Transouth. Let's go to Jerry Punch with a report on Neil Bonnett.
We've been waiting to give you a little bit of an update on Neil Bonnett, who was involved in that crash about 15 laps ago up in turn 4. Now, Neil was knocked unconscious inside the Citgo Ford, was taken here to the Infield Care Center. Inside the Infield Care Center, he is awakened now and talked to the doctors and talked to Leonard Wood and some of the crew. Now, he's awake and knows where he is, but for safety reasons, they feel he may have a little bit of a concussion. They're going to transfer him to McLeod Regional Hospital here in Florence for a computerized CAT scan. It's just simply precaution. No significant injuries have been diagnosed, but simply a precautionary move for Neil Bonnett.
All right, thank you, Jerry. We will keep our fingers crossed and hope that nothing seriously has occurred to Neil Bonnett involved in that crash in turn number 4. Still seeing some great action. Now we're looking out from the rear window of the 66 car as he continues to pass cars. Dick Trickle has moved all the way up to 5th spot.
And Ken Schrader he's just by Bobby Hill, and he's on the back of his bumper. Michael Waltrip just made an unscheduled pit stop.
Yes, he did, and he was one of those 11 cars running in the lead lap. He was running 9th when he came in. Now he goes a lap down. You can see that battered Pontiac that he's driving out there, he was involved in that multi-car crash.
Boy, I tell you, look at those streamers there on the right rear of the race car. Are those for aerodynamics?